Now to a frustrating situation for a lot of Sunwing passengers. The airline canceling more than a dozen flights out of Toronto's Pearson Airport as it works to bring home stranded customers. For more, let's bring in travel expert Barry Choi. Barry, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Good to be back.
Yeah, Sunwing has canceled more than a dozen flights. What do you make of that decision?
That's Sunwing going to Sunwing sometimes, right? Unfortunately, there was some huge delays of weather out of Pearson International Airport. Obviously, most people know about that Delta crash, which has shut down runways for quite a bit. That said, Pearson is operating at 95% capacity, so it's interesting to see Sunwing do this. At the same time, there were smaller airlines that got limited airplanes to get people back, so that adds to the problems.
I have another question for you, but in the meantime, I'd like to bring up the statement that we do have from Sunwing explaining some of the reasoning behind what they're doing, saying we prioritize the safe return of customers currently delayed in destinations due to recent weather disruptions, crew availability constraints, and extremely limited hotel capacity. This difficult but essential operational decision allows us to redirect our resources toward bringing delayed customers home as quickly and safely as possible. So, Barry, what recourse might stranded customers have here?
Well, it really depends on the situation. The first thing I would personally recommend is if travelers who are stranded have travel insurance, they should be making claims immediately right away. Don't rely on the airlines because quite often they're going to try their hardest to delay things as much as possible. So check your travel insurance policy. That may entitle you to hotels for a certain amount, food and drinks, transportation. And at the same time, sometimes it makes sense to take matters into your own hands. If you look at the air passenger rights, Sunwing does have to pay passengers to get back home or to their home airport or to an airport that's close by. For example, let's say people in Waterloo are stranded. Perhaps they can get on a flight with a different carrier to Waterloo to Hamilton or Toronto. In theory, Sunwing will be obligated to pay back passengers for that. Of course, will they be open to it and be handing out those dollars and checks? Unlikely, and that's why it's important for passengers to know their rights.
And just generally, of course, this time of year, there are a lot of things that can be out of the airline's control, particularly when it comes to weather. So as a customer, as a passenger, what should you be aware of when you're booking winter travel?
That's exactly it. The winter travel, this is absolutely crazy. The snow we're seeing out of Toronto, haven't had a storm like this in many, many years, had multiple dumps. But I think this is why it's so important to talk about travel insurance over and over again. Every single time there's a delay, I'm on CTV talking about travel insurance. Quite often with travel insurance, the extended travel insurance is if there's a delay for more than 4 hours, you are entitled to certain amounts, which can cover things such as transportation, food, accommodations. Yes, there are caps on this travel insurance, but having that gives you a little bit of peace of mind. Generally speaking, most things are resolved within 48 hours. And to be fair to Sunwing, these are extreme circumstances, right? We're talking about the snow was unexpected. The plane crash did not help, obviously. So we want to have some patience, but at the same time, totally understand why travelers are frustrated. And that's why they should be looking at other airlines to get them back home and then charge it back to Sunwing.
Travel expert Barry Choi. Barry, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime.